Ohangwena is one of the most populated 14 regions in Namibia, second to the Komasa region, with a population of about 250,000 as per the 2011 House and Population Census. The region is demarcated into 12 constituencies, namely Okongo, Omdaungilo, Oshikunde, Epembe, Omlonga, Enana, Oshikango, Engela, Ongenga, Endola, Ondobe, and Ohangwena. The region borders Oshana, Omsati, Oshkoto, and Kavango West. Ohangwena is one of the regions that have been experiencing potable water shortage. In an effort to address those anomalies, the Ohangwena Regional Council, in its 5-year strategic plans, wants to ensure that provision of potable water is extended to all the constituency of the region. As is now, there is an unequal distribution of water, with the western constituency, that is Endola, Ongenga, Omulonga, Engela, Oshikango, Enana, Ondobe, and Ohangwena, fairly covered with bulk water supply, while those on the eastern, namely Okongo, Mdaungilo, Oshikunde, and Opembe, highly rely on underground water, either through borehole or earth dams. In the eastern constituency, people have been drinking unsafe water for some time now, but the situation has since changed for the better, as inhabitants has now access to potable water within their reach. To address those challenges, the government drilled 250 boreholes, including 12 from Aquifer 2. The Chief Regional Officer for Ohangwena Regional Council, Philippus Shilongo, says water in Aquifer 2 can last for the next 400 years.
We are very pleased to indicate here that we have a discovery of Aquifer 2, where you can drill a deep boreholes, roughly up to 300 meters deep. And this is a very rich aquifer, which, according to the research, we are informed this water will be able to sustain the resident for the next 400 years or so. So that shows that it's a very rich aquifer, and if it's properly developed and we exploit enough water sustainably, of course, then we should be able to have access to safe drinking water for all of our residents, including the nearby regions such as Oshikoto and probably even further down to Kavango West and East. The usage of this water, especially the aquifer, is not yet optimally used because we have not managed to drill enough boreholes to reticulate to everyone. I can indicate here that, for example, Epembe constituency, we only have Ohamutwe Tautende boreholes. It's a deep borehole that was drilled, and we reticulate water to the nearby villages. We are talking of a radius of 10 kilometers from the borehole, from the main borehole. But this is still not sufficient to cater for the whole Epembe constituency. So we'll need more deep boreholes in Epembe, or very close to Epembe, within the aquifer too, so that we reticulate to the nearby villages.
Tudite ehafoli nene shashingo papeome yetu para statura pombola etoyo kesho mo kudite nawa shasho mo atunu katuna vale nota imuna eto mote inu vakwetu tadi ki longongo na bote yakuna pa kwali tulikoshi enota lili tilifa kwali gatunu ni mafa ilo uleke fogo totingeno yakosha ikutuna ndokuli oike kwali atunu utele ko ngoka wa feike wayo mai wa pama shishi mala pefa tule mingo ka hewa dili nawa
watu pandula ngai pangelo ola kemba dala ne mikalo adisetali dulu oleto meo mo minino o inafika lela Ohangwena ne ligi na ishe konono omono mo mwamonika muna ojo yo meva o atufano aquifer 2 no moshikanjo ololo nese tushapembe omunane mbola dilimbali datu wadaya ko joyo meyo aquifer 2 oyo ombola ne itakalela pa ili ne monkunda kufano ampeta utende ovana vakala na veri mongalo imwe ya nyaika nai o kakwali vena nande alternativa imwe yokumona omeva nge vamwe omeva maiko meya omomifima o ngone tayinyeka niinamwenyo o ngese dule ya diloko nawa pemito diapu omifima adoka dina omeva. Paife si atupopinga onkundu wenota ponkunda papo ampeta utende oadjapo shasho twatula mwepo inda dili nano otuna avahanwa papo meina apa otuna upoinda uli utatu uli monkunda uo ampeta utende otwatala yo natango meya konkunda uli kwinya pene kilo dilonongwa ufano ndurudia atupene ovanankunda nosikola yakalapo yakala ili mongalo ya nyeika.
Another example at Mulondo, which is in Oshikunde constituency, we also drill a deep borehole, which also reticulates to the nearby villages, both in Oshikunde and part of Epembe constituency. And very importantly, we have a very famous boreholes at the Omalapapa in Omdaungiro constituency. This is another deep boreholes, which really take care of the areas within Omdaungiro constituency, which also even take to the growth point of Omdaungiro. But these boreholes, all of them, they are, we have to, because at the beginning they were some of them were part of the experimentary, whereby we tap water from one borehole and we see how the aquifer is reacting. But this is a high-tech type of technology because you need to see, even to observe whether the vegetation is changing depending on the aquifer, depending on how much you extract from the boreholes.
The constituencies such as Okongo and the Oshikunde have no pipeline at all, but Omdaungilo and the Pembe partially have.
Some of these boreholes that we have in Okongo, in fact, most of them, they are all shallow boreholes. So they are not coming from the aquifer too. The aquifer 2 boreholes are mostly in Omdaungilo, Oshikunde, one in Epembe, which is at Ohamtwe Tautende, and then the rest are in Enana and Ondobe constituency. Aquifer 2 is actually coming from the side of Angola via Omdaungilo constituency, and it touches Oshikunde and partly Epembe and partly Enana and Ondobe constituency. Okongo have not, as a constituency, Okongo have not really, it's not covered by the aquifer 2 as such.
Okongo only has one water source, and that is the boreholes. We are not connected to any other water service provider, so we depend on our own water source. Since Okongo was established, during those years when the mission started here, they had a borehole there nearby Elsin, but that borehole is dead now, but it is in our plans now to refurbish it so that we can add to our current water supply source.
Eno tapai fo la dengbapo. Mboli wale la ino me amawa. Kagere kashi wano hate kengo ne ndongi. O no tua toteke no tua ngashingo amininga. Aye me amawa. Ashiko wa shwano la pandola me amawa nini.
People in the Eastern constituency are using underground water from the shallow borehole Aquifer 1 and the most popular Aquifer 2, where one can extract quality and pure water for animal and human consumption. However, the production of water from Aquifer 2 is said to be costly, and therefore not everyone can afford to source water from there.
Aquifer 2 is actually a deep water resources underground, where you have to drill roughly from 250 deep. But we are currently drilling deep boreholes, and one borehole, a deep borehole, roughly costs you in the range of 2.something million, just for one borehole. But we also drill shallow boreholes, more so like in Congo. Most of the boreholes that we have, they are all shallow boreholes, like they are not too deep to the Aquifer 2.
Our water, they are fine. They are not salty. Even if you take shower, you will not like, you require some lotion to apply. Like this time around, when it's hot, you just take shower and then you go sleep. When it's come to drink, that's why I'm always having that 5 liter or 10 liter, I think, of cold water there from my fridge. Our water they are 100% fine. They are sweet, not sweet like chocolate, but they are just pure water, like water for the rainfall.
A constituency like Okongo, there they are using those small gardening, individual gardens, which is tapping water from shallow borehole, not from aquifer 2, but just from the, let me say from aquifer 1. And this one is also able to sustain for animal and a bit for small scale irrigation scheme.
Here this is a Onyanga, a Posha village. The business for the people that here in this village, they're supposed to do is a gardening. And the only crop they're supposed to do is tomato and green peppers, that is all. Like every week, we used to pick like 17, 22 crates of tomatoes. This one we collect like 13 or 10 crates for green peppers. So we get money for these things. So people, if you're trying to do gardening, like let me talk about the water system. During the rain season, the water is too much. But starting from August, September, the water is to go down just because of the sun. So you must manage, like, must be having like 3 or 4 drums. Then you'll be having like 40,000 liters. That one you'll be able to handle 50 by 50 garden. And then your crops, they'll be having enough water. If they don't have money for drilling boreholes, they can talk about it, like even to tell the government to make like a shade for the iron sheet. Like during the rain season, then you make a dam. Then you harvest water. You see? That water it will be enough to water this garden, 50 by 50. It must not be big. Farming is not like you must be having a big space. A small space, you can get a lot of money.
With its huge unsalty and pure water quality, Aquifer 2 has the potential to make the region a food basket of Namibia, as the community will have access to water for agricultural activities.
For Congo, you have new development that were put in place by government, such as a program called Nerarech. This is a project to augment the water supply and the food sustainability in the region. So one would really see that it is making impact, because communities that are benefiting are actually able to engage into vegetable gardening, which is really good for food security.
Okutekera atutikira omiatati mombola lipi endamo kekesesi kwa tutitiro miaduda upomia atekira na tuno kwa posta ngiri pe por posta watu posta go upomia endere ngengo tende kachana tandiane onjiholi longo ndene mokugara pange kasho tena ndi umeno mangu uchona ulimutrei wa kesho shonda kesho lomakaya andi gutekera opo unima uko shashi wote unima shafika manga opo shimashi shikale shidinga anjina kumeno kongura anjaji kunja kulonga opo shimashi opo wala ashi unima hulembe ngeke kunontenya ngine utekera ulembe tumi zakutoka kunini mi hapo oretusa no pasiri maro pasiri ne aluka mbruka vishi kabisha shishoshi wede ngo to kuno pasiri aila ndiko numauke ofilo oshashi wote otwiji pa hapa no oshige oretus inaila ndikina ndachacha uya hepa ike mo unima atura ndivema kwa shuwana de opena nembaha ambesre ekrita taita iko Kongo kesi ambara kesi kungwa ekrita atumpeke.
According to some research done in the past, the aquifer strands the border between Namibia and Angola and is recharged from mountains in southern Angola. Aquifer stretched 75 kilometers from Ndobe constituency towards the east and about 40 kilometers towards the Angolan border, and holds 20 billion cubic meters of fresh waters. Despite sufficient water, The current development cannot cater for private takeoff, but once it's fully developed and equipped with water plants, it can eventually cater for private takeoff.
Palo me amomombo. Ngeno kwali ne ipangelo talilongo ne moshiri vali ngeno litukwafe. Ngeno apapa turwa epoindado. Ngeno napo tapambolo ashike. Keshemwe takale nombola yao veni. Shashi ngeno apa. Nge ombolai ndiwete kuchote ituanene apa ponkundaba. Kukufamu peipi. Operation tekakali hapa.
It is important to acknowledge and also to inform our viewers or listeners that when we look at the situation in Ohangwena region in terms of water, we have a place or some constituencies where there is no pipeline at all. And that means that it will be impossible to have a water tap in your yard because this water is only available at the boreholes. But if we have developed, or when we develop the aquifer too, when we develop more water resources from aquifer too, or we tap more water and we put a pipeline, then we will be able to have pipeline that goes to constituencies and goes to villages where you can then have private water pipeline in your household. But as we speak now, it is not possible because there is no pipeline.
According to Shilongo, some of the boreholes are, however, salinate, and the regional council has sealed them because they are unfit for both animal and human consumption.
The challenge of shallow boreholes in the region, you drill boreholes, and after the testing of the quality of water, you will be surprised. Some of the boreholes have very high fluoride content, or either very alkalinity, or the salt content in the water is too high to the extent that this water becomes not fit for human consumption. There are even those boreholes that are not even fit for animal consumption. But when you drill, you still have to pay. You have to pay the contractor. So there are times we paid contractors, but the water is not good. We need to keep and to make use of that water wisely, because water is still scarce. And even the infrastructure, we have also noted people vandalizing the infrastructure that was put by government. I would like to single out the issue of people stealing the cylinders underground. They also steal, or some steal the water, the solar panels. And this is bad for our development. So we want our people to really to take care of these assets of the government, because it is there to assist them.
O pombo ya kala pomba dia pukwe minga ne mingo tu te kucho tadi bakwa tamba kwe shilinda omono kuli no na to dangwi mwe kominga kushiloko ya bakwa shene paife wela ole tu ayo to angwa tu na nsama no wakelelepo nonge ngwatale po minga po peneji kola ngoli lyopo kominga yo pomba kunya nge watale kunya kunango kaguma muhadi omongo alo kilo no kodula nde shimwa shikela lakano okukwatira po ikopomba yetu opushive kulonga ngo ule wadla japu yo itu pale ngo komesho yangwe ngo ko maputo ote
Eisha tangonkumo opondikalen pagalela po meva yetu eno talila kala letu nyanyalifa mo Shilongo eno talila kala pagala monai ya notamana ne kucho tapandra unene tate kanshala chetu po meva papa notamana kucho meawa mwe kukalelwapo opo inima yavakweponga chiteva kwa mikuna mikunda.
Shilongo is appealing to those with expertise to use them for the benefit of the region and help achieve a desired level of potable water in the region, if not 100%.
In the future, we still want to see a full-fledged development of the aquifer too, so that we should be able to venture into business such as gardening and irrigation. The region has a very bigger picture in terms of water development because we have, for too long, Ohangwena has been lagging behind in terms of access to safe drinking water. I can recall during the flood, that was 2011 or 2012, around there, the second governor, Honorable Uskongamwa, has a dream actually to ensure that we harvest water. I can recall when there was a time he was trying to prevent water from going all over in Ohangwena constituency and the Ngera constituency. Then he was saying, why can't we develop, or why can't we come up with a project to harvest water, of course to sustainably harvest this rainwater in such a way that we take some reasonable amount of water or volume of water, and then we let this other water to go down so that the people downstream should still be able to reach or to get water. And then we channel this water to the eastern side of the constituency where we do not have pipeline. After they have done that pre-feasibility studies, we have used that pre-feasibility studies and bring it to the attention of the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform. Of course, sometimes back, but we really appreciate the ED at Agriculture, Ms. Ndiakupi, and of course her team, because when we briefed them on our regional priorities, they took it up, and as we speak now, a consultant is now appointed again to do a detailed feasibility study on the development of a water canal, which will then be going alongside the Namibian-Angolan border, and our plan is to say, when we harvest water, or if there are no good water, rainwater, then we should be able to drill deep boreholes, and we inject water from the boreholes to the canal, so that maybe during the dry season, the borehole should then be filling the canal. And alongside the border then, or wherever the canal passed through, people in our respective localities there should then be able to put up their own small garden, like for tomatoes, onions, and you name them, for them to be able to produce their own food. So we believe that if that canal is constructed, so many people will be able to come up with small vegetable gardens